B2B marketing strategies and why trying to sell less might actually make you sell more. In this video, I'm going to talk about the B2B marketing strategies that I found work best, and I'll also give you a couple of examples, both a fictional example where I will give you some tips on how I would go about creating a marketing strategy, as well as a couple of real-life examples of companies that I think are doing really well in B2B marketing. Let's dive right in. The first thing we need to know about B2B marketing is the most important part is to establish trust, especially when you're a newer, younger company. So like a startup, you really want to establish trust for people to actually buy from your company. Now, there are a couple of ways how we can establish this trust. One of them is writing articles, then creating videos like this video, for example. Post these videos on your website as well. This will also help you establish trust. You can also start creating a podcast, maybe interview some people. This is also a really nice way to do some networking because it gives you a pretty good excuse to reach out to people and ask to have a conversation with them for your podcast, obviously. And then, of course, we also want to post across different social channels, and you'll always have to see like what the perfect mix of social channels is for your specific business. So this can be anything from TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, maybe LinkedIn. Probably when you're in like the B2B space, you want to focus on Facebook and LinkedIn. These are probably the better channels for you because on Facebook, believe it or not, people are on the older side. So it's usually people that you want to target in a B2B environment as well. And LinkedIn gives you really nice targeting opportunities for their ads because here it's still possible to really specifically target people. Let's say if you want to target the CEOs or the COOs of Fortune 500 companies, you can actually select which companies you want to target the CEOs of, and you will reach exactly these people. If you then also create your content specifically for this audience, you really have a pretty good marketing campaign. Now, for some examples, let's first start off with a fictional example. Let's say you have a startup in a financial planning tool for companies and you want to promote this to different businesses. You want to establish your software in this market. Instead of creating some ads advertising the software itself on, let's say, LinkedIn, we can start creating some content specifically for this audience. So instead of saying like, hey, we have a financial planning tool, start thinking a little bit before that. So let's say you are targeting like more local businesses. Maybe you can write some articles, create some videos on how to set up Shopify POS, because businesses that are using Shopify POS can be a perfect target audience for your company as well, and they can use your software as well. Maybe your software even has an integration with Shopify. This makes things maybe even more easy. Another thing that you could do is write an article on how to budget for your business. You can even go more specific, like how to budget for your local store. Something else that you could do is also write an article about cash flow planning, include a Google Sheet template specifically for cash flow planning, and in this template, you can also add in some cues towards your software, or you can tell people when they're using this template how your software would make things even more easy than using an Excel template, for example. Let's say if they need an hour of input on a weekly basis to make the Excel template work, it could very well be the case that your software eliminates this time altogether. So that hour of input is no longer needed. They can just use your software. Your software will pull the data from the systems that they're already using, and this is a selling opportunity while you're still giving value for free. So they get the template for free, but you also give them a really good value proposition of why they should use your software instead, or why that might bring some extra value. As for the real life examples, I have two examples today. The first example being Basecamp. So Basecamp recently started doing more and more marketing, and I really like the way that they're going about it nowadays. If you take a look at 37 Signals YouTube channel, their podcast, you will see the founders of Basecamp talking about how they are making business decisions, how they are using Basecamp internally. So for example, recently they did a team event in Amsterdam, and Jason Fried, the founder and CEO of Basecamp, walked us through the entire setup of the Basecamp project that they used to organize this event in Amsterdam. And for me, for example, this is a way that I learn. This is also why I've been considering going back to Basecamp from Asana, because it really gives you another way of working, and the way that they are bringing this message across is through their own internal usage of Basecamp. Other than that, they're also talking about their decision-making process, the thought process behind some of the tests that they are doing. So recently they've been working on a new pricing strategy, for example, and they talk through this pricing strategy and the reasoning behind it, what they are expecting from the strategy. And these are really things that resonate with business owners. And coincidentally, these same business owners also need to decide if they would start using Basecamp, for example. So they are reaching their audience through valuable content without really selling Basecamp. They're selling the ID, they are sharing IDs, they are sharing knowledge, and through this knowledge, people get acquainted with them, with Basecamp, with the company. So this is a really great way of doing marketing, and I feel more and more companies should actually do it this way, because just promoting your product isn't enough anymore. Another great example is Ahrefs. So Ahrefs, for the ones who don't know this tool, is an SEO tool that you can use to research keywords, see how your website is performing, keep track of certain keywords specifically for your website and how they are performing over time. And the way that Ahrefs is promoting their product is by actually writing a bunch of guides, a bunch of blog posts, creating a bunch of videos all about how to do SEO, and they have like really comprehensive guides on how to do specific things in SEO. So for example, they will write an article about how to use meta titles, meta descriptions, the different header tags, and they will really go into detail. So using their guides, you're perfectly fine doing your own SEO. But at different stages in these guides, they will also mention how Ahrefs can make your life even easier. So they will tell you the manual way of doing this research just by using Google's own tools like the Search Console. But then they will also say like, hey, Ahrefs also gives you this and this data. Or Ahrefs will give you the ability to track the position that you end up in the search results for these specific keywords, and you can keep track of this over time. So this is really helping when you're working on your SEO, and like they don't even offer a free trial. So I think the last time I checked, their trial is like a 1-week trial for $9, but this is working really well for them, this strategy. And most of the things that you will be searching for these days in regards to SEO, Ahrefs will come up as one of the first results on these search terms. Now, you might say creating content, all nice, but usually this is like more long term. So when you start creating content, it will take quite some time before this content actually starts performing and will actually bring visitors to your website. There is a solution for this as well. So as a marketing consultant, I feel you always have to find a balance between short-term opportunity, short-term sales, and also the long-term growth that you're working towards for, in my case, the companies that I'm consulting for. And for content, this is exactly the same. So when you're creating content, the content I've been talking about in this video, you have like organic reach for this content that will grow over time. But in the short term, you can also start using this content, for example, for your sales team. So when your sales team is reaching out to people, instead of saying like, hey, did you have the time to go over my proposal? You can say like, hey, just as a quick follow-up, I have this article that I forgot to send over. It's really interesting, talks perfectly about what we have been suggesting for your business. P.S. Have you had the chance to go over my proposal? If you have any questions, just let me know. So you can see like the second email is way different than the first one. The first one is like really salesy. You will get a bunch of these emails. Whereas the second one brings value again, and you still stay top of mind with your prospect in this case. And of course, you can also use this content for your ad campaigns as well. So instead of just promoting screenshots of your products, maybe like some specific ads promoting your product, so really going for the bottom of funnel conversions, you can start incorporating these videos that you're creating, these articles that you're writing into your mix for the ad campaigns as well. So here you can drive some top of funnel traffic, and these people will still convert over time as they will become part of your bigger funnel, of course. Now, if you found this video interesting, you will really like my video about Facebook Facebook ads in 2020 as well. I will link it up here. Give it a look. It's about Facebook ads, but as I said in the beginning of this video, Facebook ads also tend to be really valuable for B2B businesses as well, because the younger people are staying away from Facebook right now, and it's mainly the older audiences that stay on Facebook.